There we go. Now I can hear things. Now what did I do? Was it the... Oh, it's the brightness. Let's put it back in the middle where it was. Okay. Fantastic. Well, I nearly started streaming earlier on, as you may have seen, and then I stopped. But now I've started. Aha. How good is that? Oh. Oh, yep. Spoilers! Working on the campaign. Sort of just knocked up the first mission of chapter 4. Assuming, you know. I've no idea what I'm talking about. So anyway. Chapter 4. First mission. We're going to take on... Well, we're going to assist an allied cruiser to go against an enemy cruiser. Well, a couple of enemy cruisers. And they have a twist at the end, like, you know. But whether that will all go into the one mission or not is depending how long it will go on for. You know. Yes. So we'll see how it goes. I've got a draft. It's not final. Move to the side. Honestly, why is the taskbar like so small? Am I supposed to really like get that 1 pixel border to drag it? What is it with developers? How to make your app very difficult to use. Thank you. Maybe they need to just have a button you can press and hold down, which will then put it into movement mode. God, that'd be a life-saving thing. Just hold down, I don't know, Control Shift, and then you can just, the window panel that is currently in focus will just fade out a bit and then show that it's in a movement mode, and you can just click on it anywhere and drag it without having to find a tiny bit of freaking space. That would just be like, whoosh. Let's put that down as an idea. At least to see if someone else has actually done that, or whether or not I could do that myself. Because that would make life so much easier. Where would I put it? In here. How many ideas folders do I need? Ideas. Other ideas. Notepad, text. Yeah. Okay. That's an idea. Maybe I'll forget about that. Alright. Just literally, so let's say I want to drag this dead easy big white thing there I can grab hold of. But when it comes to something like this, then I have to like get up there and drag it. And then there's other windows which come more complex, like I showed you, like this. Like, where the fucking file button? You know? Why would I have to... Just give me the fucking title bar. I won't have to go in to find the settings for it. Where is the bloody settings, you know? Settings. Appearance. Themes. What? Native frame, relaunch. There we go. So these stupid apps do crap like that. So much easier to have a fucking title bar back. Something you can know that you're clicking and dragging on. Maybe it's just me. Or maybe it's something that's getting people as they age. I feel like I'm aging out of technology, despite using it all the time. And that people who are developing this technology are just young and using it based on their own knowledge and understanding, and then everyone else suffers and gets stupid disability option modes, which are... I don't know, are they helpful for people with disabilities in that disability mode? Or is it just a poor-assed effort of fudging in a feature just to say, hey, we've got this stuff? The stuff like zooming it in. You could just zoom it into a particular percentage that they give you. Why can't I have it on a scroll bar and zoom in that way so I can get to choose what I want that to do? And then do it on an app basis. But some apps might have stupid text, so I want to make that zoom in more than another app that I might be using. Why does that do? Why tie that into the entire single UI? Make it per app. Give more options, flexibility. Allow people choose how they want to interact and how to interact with it. Yeah, give more options. Anyway, I'm digressing and distracting myself from this, as I always do, because, you know, why would I not? Alright, where's Obsidian gone? I should close it down. Put a heading thing open. What if I don't click it on now? Yes, disappeared. Okay. Last time we streamed, we were sorting out the formation for the spawns. Because if we're saying I want to spawn at this group of ships, they would all spawn on the same location, unless we said The first one's a wingman, and then they get assigned a wingman. So I had to basically almost keeping the same concept, but keeping it temporary, where we say, right, create a temporary wing definition. The first one to spawn is going to be considered a wingman or origin.
Just followed.
Fairdry, thank you for following. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And then every other ship that spawns after that can spawn in that formation. So I managed to do that. And then having solved that, we're not actually using it anymore. You see Unity in a space game, you follow. Man of culture, I see. Yes, I love space games. Everything from Wing Commander back on the Amiga 500 all the way up to Wing Commander on the PC. It says. Yeah, I don't play many space games these days because too busy trying to make a video game of space games, of stuff that I want. You know, I play stuff like Star Sector and that space tricking sim, Elite Dangerous. That's the space trucking sim. I played it for a while and got turned off because someone said it's a space tricking sim, and it's like, yeah, it is. Why am I bothering with it? Well, pretty much anything with the sci-fi themes and set in space, I like Mass Effect and all that. But this game I'm making is more based on, well, a cross between Wing Commander, dogfighting, and then if you've ever played Independence War or iWar back in the 90s, then this is what I'm aiming for this version, or this iteration of my game. So this is going to be our target that our Allied cruiser is going to intercept and destroy, and we're going to have a couple of escorts which are in its formation, and going to give them AA guns to shoot down any torpedoes we fire, and we need to take care of that. However, I am getting myself ahead. Let's see if it works. Yeah, whiff of the ocean defo puddle, certain. But that's what people asked for, didn't they? They wanted to go explore an entire universe, and Frontier provided. And now they're saying, well, actually, we want some depth to this. It's like, well, this is what you get. You got a procedurally generated universe, which is effectively the same as the original Elite on the BBC, Frontier Elite 2, exactly the same thing that provided. You know, got all that breadth out there, but there's very little depth to it, where you might encounter a Fargoid, and then iterations on that. Was it Frontier First Encounters, which was basically a much buggier and graphically improved version of Frontier Elite 2, which then, after all the patches that got done for it, pretty solid game. And that's it. It's like there's no depth, because how do you get depth provided into something that is vast and wide, and yet doesn't come across like Star Trek Online when they created those randomized dungeons? You remember that? Have you ever played that? Which was like cookie cutter blocks which providing no variety or interest at all. It's very boring. And then you got the comparison of Mass Effect series. It gives you equivalent the galaxy with set main planets to be at, and then other planets to explore, which just have some wonders in there and random stuff thrown in there. Hello there, 9 Hertz. How are you doing? Welcome along. It requires people to manually create that and make it interesting. No Man's Sky, well, what was No Man's Sky? It was exactly like First Elite, apart from you could walk around on planets that were empty with nothing to there other than some really badly procedurally generated artificial life forms and planets with resources that you needed as a starting character that you couldn't get because you was unfortunately enough to be spawned on a planet that didn't have them. That was the start of it. Yeah, again, promised so much, but when it comes to do it, no content. And now, well, hasn't No Man's Sky sort of turned that around with all the expeditions and stuff that they bring in there, and significantly added extra stuff on there and free expansions? Really turned it around on there, and the Steam reviews have eventually, over the years, is it now in overwhelming or mostly positive? Mostly positive last time. What am I looking for? No Man's Sky. Very positive. 80%. 91% over the last 30 days. So they've turned it around significantly, especially to get 80% from where it was very negative. I remember when that first came out, and it was exactly how I thought it was going to be. And that's why people have got to be careful what they ask for, because they get what they ask for and then realise it's not actually that interesting. So there is Star Sector now, isn't there? That doesn't do planets, but that seems to be doing well with what it does. So you don't have to have planet landings to make a successful game. You don't have to have multiplayer to make a successful game as well. Anyway, that's me rambling on about the state of video games out there. I love stuff like the iWar 2, the Wing Commanders. Like Wing Commander 1 is still my favourite Wing Commander of all time. But on to the others. I mean, Wing Commander 2 does come a close second, or maybe is it Privateer, maybe. Wing Commander 2 has that ridiculous difficulty scaling on it. That doesn't work right. It never got fixed. Difficult side to draw the line as a space game dev. Yeah. Well, when I started this journey, I was making effectively space combat dogfight. And all I wanted is just to fly around in your fighters like Wing Commander, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, and do that. Hey, Panda Unicorn, how you doing? It's been a long time. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated that you're around. Especially that I don't get stream very often or frequently or regularly enough to have to build an audience or build a community. I'd like to change that. And at least I'm not boring to you, Dev, then, eh? If you enjoy listening to me in the background. Good background noise. Yeah. But Yeah, so when I was making Absolute Territory, I started that in, what, 2010-ish? When it was Unity version 2.8 or whatever, just a couple of months before Unity version 3 came out. And I never got far with it, because I'll spend like a month on it, and then I'll drop it for several months, and then I'll come back to it and spend a few months on it, drop it again. You know, with only like sprints and then long cooldown periods. And eventually, it's like I got to the point where I really wanted to get this made and kick it out the door and have people play it. You know, as a sense of accomplishment. My midlife crisis was fast approaching, and I guess that was it. Virtual co-workers, yes. It's good to have background noise on there and, you know, just listening to ramble on, even though you got no idea what they're doing, or at least you get the feeling of they have the same problems I have. Makes me feel better. Oh, you're just like a normal person, just go out and buy a car. My dad's midlife crisis was motorbikes. I buy myself a new motorbike every year or two until my mum reined him in, I think. Yeah, my midlife, I can't afford to have a more expensive midlife crisis because I can't afford to buy video game stuff and computers and stuff that I don't need. Definitely won't be buying the new 50 series of NVIDIA. Given how the frame gen is the only thing that props that up. Ugh. The DLSS visual core scaling. Based on my limited observations of what other people have done. Yeah, so what is it? Yeah, rewinding back, so around 2017, 18. Yeah, about 2018, I decided I'm gonna get this finished because I did a little side trek where I was working on doing an app that would help me upload videos to YouTube, which was cool. Tried to sell it, but it was not good. So I started doing that one as my next project. And the scale of it came down drastically scaled it down. In fact, I scaled it down so much that it was just going to be a level editor, which is this thing, and people could make their own missions and do it that way, like Wing Commander Academy. Yeah, Wing Commander Academy, where they just make their own missions. But then have to do some beta testing and getting people to play it. They said they wanted a campaign, so then they spent another 6 months adding in a campaign, and I guess that was a good thing because no one's touched. Well, people have touched it, touched the level editor, probably made some basic stuff, but they've not uploaded anything to the workshop for it. So yeah, made the right choice because otherwise it wouldn't probably sell as much as it did. Clever coding. I do not do clever coding. I do lots of back coding and lots of banging my head against the wall to try and make bad code functional. And then praise myself when it works and says how great I am, and then come back 6 months later and think, what was I on when I wrote that? So you bought a car because it was an EV, really. So it was a reasonable and well thought out purchase. How much are those things? Are they more expensive than Tesla? Or are they fall in the same bracket? I'm sure it's outside my price range. That was sold my car a few months ago because I don't use it. What's ICE? I don't understand that acronym. Like renting or something. Oh, combustible engine. Yeah. Fairly cheap to run. Yeah, for now. My gut feeling is when... So I'm in the UK. So when the government finally bans the selling of new ICE cars, the cost of electricity will start skyrocketing because more people are going to be using it. Then the electric grid can't cope with the demand, and then there will be a lot of blackouts. And then a lot of people will be buying second-hand cars, which will just be adding extra emissions out there because they'll be older and not as gas emitting efficient as newer models would be. So the cost of second-hand cars are going to skyrocket as well, and then no one will be able to afford to buy. Well, you won't be able to get a second-hand car, it'll become too expensive, and then can't afford to buy an electric car because you can't get the range that you need of it, and you can't charge it, and your power grid can't support it, and then there'll be just go shit. And then we've still got to wait 20 years for a new nuclear reactor to be built because no one saw this requirement, and everyone's afraid of nuclear energy because they feel like the radiation is a significant detriment and hazard, where people were burning coal for decades in their own living room that exposed them to radiation. Yes, coal emits radiation when it's burned. You're more likely to get radiation poisoning from handling coal than you are living next door to a nuclear reactor. In Sweden, did they close 3 reactors? I knew they closed them down in Germany because of the public peer pressure of complaining it, and now they're having an issue with I guess the same, and now they're having to go back to it and say, look, actually, it's clean. We've got good ways of handling it. Yeah. Well, it was a freak accident for Japan, where Japan is on it's an earthquake zone, for lack of the better terminology of it, and it's expected, and it was significantly more than what they expected it, and I think that their nuclear reactor held up so much better than any other reactors surely would. I think more likely to just get something similar happen in America. That's another massive issue on fault lines there. And now they want to build a tunnel from America to Europe. I would not want to travel that. Once minor tremor and just like collapsing on itself. Yeah, it just needs to be able to create nuclear reactors much faster. It's like, why? 20 years it takes. And that has not changed in decades. And I believe it's all about red tape people have added in towards prolonging that. Because there was this lad a long time ago, a couple of decades, that was knew all about this because I think he used to be involved in the industry. He was telling me it takes like 20-25 years to build a reactor, and most of that is because of all the tape and the hoops you got to jump through. Yeah, so they've added significant red tape to delay it, and it's ridiculous. And then they're trying to create mini reactors now, like we've got Sci-Fi, quite small little reactors in a shorter period. It's like, what? Oh well. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And my next thing I need to do on this is actually to right, might as well do it. It's already set up. We need to tell our escorts that spawn up there, all the way up there on this waypoint, to stay in formation with the leader, because the leader will just be saying break and attack, break and attack, break and attack. Are you breaking attack? Break and attack. And even if we told it not to do that, then it would also be like, oh, I'm taking damage, I need to break an attack. Oh, that's always the case. Someone else always gets your money. You work, you think you're saving up for yourself, and then it goes to someone else. Yes. Don't save your money. Spend it. Be like the vast majority of unemployed who just spend their money straight away and don't make any savings and just live off the state. Because if you make the mistake to save your money, you will be punished for it. You will be punished for saving money. Because you might end up being unemployed for a short period, and then the state will say, no, you've already got this amount of savings, you're not entitled to anything, and therefore you have to drain your own finances you've saved with various measures. Say you put it into a LISA, which is a lifetime ISA, and then if you have to withdraw it, you take a 25% hit on what you're withdrawing, so you just lose all that money and you don't get any of the interest that you would have got if you could have kept it in there. Yeah. So the moral of the story is, don't become unemployed. Oh gosh. Don't become unemployed and don't save your money. Oh dear, rambles. Right. So we're going to create an objective? Would it be an objective? Yeah. Oh dear, that makes it harder. Objectives are consumed. Oh, they're not in the order that they're provided. I think they are. Could be wrong. I'm gonna have to look. I don't think really it's an objective, is it? Set the objectives in here. Visualize them. If actionable and consumable. Slight break and yeah. So we're either rung the objective, in which case it won't do anything else. Need to change how it handles itself a bit. Like, let's see. So when it comes to engage target, so actions. I am looking for when it tells its wingmen to break an attack. Where on earth I put that? So a send order, we've just got received orders. It's called in here and what? Just initialized. All right, send orders. Damn it. Am I wrong on this? Did I never implement that? Does it just break an attack no matter what? Well, only way to look is a bit further back. The wing definitions defines how wings are set up. That's the one. There it is. Where you used autopilot, communication. She's using 6 places, which is just looking back on what we was at. Where's some wingmen? Okay. So this is the script we're looking at. The most important part. On wonder. It's an here it is. Look, yeah. Order wingman to break an attack. We basically want to be able to override that. And the question is, what is the best way to do that? Which makes sense. I need to update that model. It's just got the base texture on and nothing else. Well, that'll come eventually. Because it needs texture packing. Yeah, I found this fantastic little program which does texture packing of your models. Very simple to use. Paid version. It's called Texture Packer 3D. But very, very simple to use. And it saved me gigabytes of space. I'm not joking. Let's see, where's it? Discord, how many? There it is. This is what I did. So 113 texture files, which was about 3 gig on disk space, and then that reduced it to 6 texture files, 820 meg on disk. Huge savings, huge. I love it. Couldn't recommend it any better. Or I wouldn't want to use anything else. Because there's like, look on GitHub, there's a free version or something you can try, but it looks very complex. Plus you've got to compile it and all that shit. It's like, I want something quick, easy use. I've also figured out some of the quirks of 3D modeling and how that program works in expected format. Well, the data to be, it was a piece of piss. And all the problems I had was actually based down to the 3D models that I purchased and was using. It was only some simple basic stuff that needed to be adjusted so it would work consistently. Maybe it's not the best workflow that I found, but based on my limited knowledge of 3D modeling, I got it to work to my needs, and I can't see any difference between using the original texture files and the pack files, which is great. Now, we're going to want this as a conditional action. I know that for a start, because this is where we define rules for things to happen. Now, we don't want it as an actor objective. An objective is for something that it needs to do and complete. So that rules out that. It's like attacking a specific target or following a specific route. So it's more like a behavior thing. And we could make it very simple. So it's going to be some kind of rule set. So we have a rule set, and then rule set says if detected, then generally you've got a choice of the rule set would be something like gauge hostiles, well, that'll be a tick for now. Order wingman to engage. And then, honestly, it's like force the formation. So this is like defining the structure of command where we have a wing leader. Am I allowed to break an attack if hostiles come? Yes or no? If I'm not allowed to break an attack, am I allowed to evade and then engage whoever's attacking me? For information. Or it's just a case of, well, if I've got a wing leader, I've got to wait for whatever my wing leader says, and I'm not allowed to act accordingly, so I have to follow strict. It would be like, quick following of orders, which means cannot break until wingman says so. Are about to start, so I'll take a quick break. Be right back. Bam. Whew. Bought myself a projector, cheap one, like Chinese no-name brand off Amazon, like 6 weeks or so ago. And well, it's fine for its cheapness and whatnot. I get it in my bedroom, project it to the ceiling, even though the ceiling has got Artex all over it. I like it for just lying in bed and watching like Netflix or Crunchyroll at night, lay in bed when it's dark. And then the dust starts getting inside where the lenses are. It's like, okay, so that's a normal thing that happens, and my bedroom is very dusty, so it accumulates. And then I had like 7 bits of hairs of dust, and then more started coming out, and it's like, okay, it's getting more annoying, so I'll give it a clean. So I take it downstairs, take it into my front room where it's less dusty, project it onto the wall, and I'm seeing all the little black spots now as well, which you also get. It's like, okay, so it's a bit more dirtier than I thought. It wasn't just some large chunks of dust showing up as white blotches. So I start cleaning it. I've bought myself a cotton wool sticks, long length, to get inside and get all of it. It's like, oh, this is tedious. There's just a lot of it, and I'm just pushing stuff around as well. I'll sellotape 3 sticks together. Genius idea. Starts working. Brilliant. However, a bit of the tape wasn't totally wrapped around and touched the lens and left a big freaking smudge that I could see. And it's like, oh, great. So then I spend like the next 10 minutes trying to find out which of like the 4 slots I put the smudge on, because you've got about like 3 or 4 slots with a lens separating each one. And it's like, okay, how do I do this? So faffing around, remove some of it, and then the rest just remains stubborn, and no matter which lens side I'm repeatedly stroking, doesn't make any difference. And then I had a stroke of genius that I had some lens wipes that I bought ages ago, and despite them breaking quite easily and also drying up very quickly, I found a way to actually remove the smudge, and now it's clean. look clean anyway. Well, I'm not looking forward to have to do that again in probably another month. Oh well. Well, the annoying thing is, annoying to me, is I bought myself a couple of air purifying machines. It's supposed to suck up all the dust. And while it sucks up all the dust, there's still a crap ton of dust still floating around the in the bedroom, so, you know, it's like, okay. Can't get rid of that. I guess I'll have to go with hard flooring. And dust every 4 hours to keep the dust down. Yeah. But for something that cost me less than 150 quid, nice projector. Simple, does the job, and there's a lot more of that. Like, what, 800 plus? The projector is something I'd wanted for like the last 15 years or something, but always put off with how expensive they are. So. What was I doing? Right, try and consider a rule set. So I'm having this rule set, then keep it simple down. Wing leader, there's like wingman rule set. Then it's something like what are wingmen allowed to do? It's basically how do we follow it? Do we allow it to happen? So we've got the wing leader rule set. So we've got hostiles, then are we, as a wing leader, are we allowed to engage those hostiles? Are we allowed to order our wingmen to engage those hostiles? That doesn't make sense, does it? Are we allowed to engage hostiles? Well, it could be that. Though we would probably have a priority route to do that, so why would we want to do that? You can turn off the AI if we don't want it to be doing. For now it's we're allowed to order the wingman to engage. That. And this one is now contradictory of that one, because it's like can prevent wingmen breaking to attack on taking damage. And then strict following of orders cannot break formation until wingman says so. And then that means if it's strict following, a bit more simpler. So if we're going to force strict orders, then we're saying, are we allowing them to evade from damage, break an attack, or cancel orders? Now, what we can do is just literally simplify it even more, which is then, are we forcing strict orders or allowing them to do it as normal? Let's enforce strict following of orders. And then that is literally all we need. Jeez. Okay, I think I've narrowed it down enough. It's literally, we don't give that order and the wingmen are not allowed to make their own decision. Other than fire at will, I guess. I'll shoot a target as opportunity. At the moment, it'll just be fire at will. Or can engage, but must maintain formation. That'd be an interesting one, but that's just making everything more complex by thinking that way. So I'm not going to think that way. We'll just keep it simple. Are we going to put that in a new form or what? So, blah. So we got like wing there. It's like define a rule set for a wing. Probably. Do we want to define it as actual objectives or another panel? Decisions, decisions, decisions. So we effectively want to apply a rule set. We do it to a wing, so when we do it to a wing, manage wings in here. Switch to announced. I thought that was announced a while ago, at least a week or two ago. Because Microsoft said they're going to release some of their games on Switch too. Like Call of Duty, I think. And Diablo, what was it? Or probably Doom. I'm sure they'll run Doom, release Doom on it. Surely Switch 2 can run Doom. Have they given the date? Is it due this year? Sure. 6 months. Surely. And what does the Switch 2 do over the Switch? Because Nintendo don't care about the hardware race. So a official release. So April 2nd. So we got an announcement, or the announcement as usual. See, so months of waiting, numerous social media posts about Donkey Kong. Nintendo finally unveiled highly anticipated Switch successor, Switch 2. Revealed this afternoon, a video giving us a brief look at the design, including magnetic Joy-Cons and what looks like previously rumored mouse functionality. So their new feature is a mouse. Right, let's just quickly mute that because Nintendo will probably just come and do that anyway. Let's not do it full screen. So we've got the usual stuff that comes off as usual. Different size. Are they providing 2 sizes? Like a small and a large screen version? Or are they saying they're increasing the size of the screen? Alright, so this is saying what they changed. So they've increased the size of the screen. They've added a bunch of stuff on, ports and whatnot. You can make it stand or lie down flat. Okay, yeah, so definitely they made it bigger. They've added whatever this crap is. Extra buttons that you can only... is that... SLSR. That doesn't make sense, because that is where you connect it into the screen if you're playing it that way. So why would you add extra buttons that you can only access if you pull it out? Plus you've then got this port here. Is that for charging it without having to connect it back in? With 4 lights, so that'll be players, up to 4 players. So maybe if you've got 4 of those controllers, you can all play on the 1-1. Well, that'd be for charging as well, wouldn't it? And then there's another one here. There's a button here. These look like buttons, but probably not. But you've got the SL and SR, both on the same controller. Left and right. So I added extra buttons, but hide them. Unless you're not expected to play the Nintendo Switch in your hands, because it's just that bigger. Oh, come on, you knew where I was. So that could be like the Wi-Fi thing. That is an interesting looking port. That doesn't look like anything I've seen. What on earth is that supposed to be? Yeah, so then, is it like they've added extra 2 buttons for party games then? To make up for that? That could make sense. Infrared sensor? For what though? It's a bit oddly shaped because your hand would be covering it. Over how you would normally hold it. So you've got your left and right and your bumper. Yeah, that makes sense then, doesn't it? So you disconnect it, you've still got the most set of controls. So you've got your bumper and your trigger, and now that you've took it off and you've only got the one controller because maybe you're giving it to a friend, you can use these 2 buttons as a bumper and a trigger maybe? Who knows? What's that just plugged into? Okay. Is it turned into a mouse? Is this the mouse feature? So it could be an IR sensor like... Look at the bottom of your mouse. It looks exactly like that sensor you got on the mouse. Yeah, there you go. So you can use it as a mouse. So yeah, IR tracker. Mouse IR tracker, yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. You see you've got connection there. So yeah, obviously plug it in to charge it that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if you could individually charge it as well. Oh, treat me rough, boy. Very rough. Ooh, so rough. And it would be a weird experience if they were going to have player 1, player 2 functionality that way. Because the layout are not. Look at that way to that, and that way to that way. Where the button placements are, they are not, what's the word, mirrored. I would expect them to be laid out correctly if you flip that control upside down to hold it, unless you're left-handed and right-handed, and either way that's no. So I'm not going to say it's principal players, still the nunchucks, you still use both, I guess. Never had a Switch 1. Is it IR on both? I'm going to say, based on that little skit of zoom zoom, look at us zooming along. Then I'm going to say yes. 2 mouse. seems that way. Plus it's got a little thing you just plug it onto to protect it, so you're not running it around on the desk, so it's like little slidey stuff on the bottom of your mouse, I guess. Giant block, which will no doubt cost like $50 or whatever, because, you know, plastic ain't cheap, and, you know, it's got moving parts and shit. Yeah. Yeah, and then thing is that an actual model, or is that just pre-rendered? This is what it'll look like, model. A little dock as well, so you can put it on the big screen, and then you've got the hold it like a normal controller. So, Mortal Kombat. 2nd of April, right? Is that more info or release date? That's it. I guess that'll be official hardware unveiling, won't it, at that point, and showing more of the games actually running hardware. So then, looking at the end of the year, Christmas period would make sense, wouldn't it? October, November generally. But yeah, why have you got? What do you need 2 mouse for? Never in my life did I need 2 mouse. Ever. Be interesting to see what gimmick they're throwing on there with a mouse. We're going to keep selling Switch 1, and some games will be compatible with both. Backwards compatible, yeah. Or yeah. It'll be like Xbox Series S and X then, won't it? Dual co-op spreadsheet. Spreadsheet battles, yes. Oh yeah, that'll work. Well, everyone wants it. I'll just make Minesweeper a much streamlined experience. Okay, just an event. What you get hands-on play experience, okay. So maybe November release then? If there's no fuck-ups or shortage and whatnot. I'm not going to buy it anyway. I've not had Nintendo since SNES, and that was my sister's. And then she went and sold it at a car boot sale for $5 with all the games that I bought for it when it was selling at CEX store for like 60 quid on its own. Ugh. Favourite game was Cybernator, which is a mech game, and I played it until I got very good at it and I could actually complete it without any struggle, and then didn't play it for a year and came back and couldn't finish the final boss. No matter how many times I tried. Oh. You'll buy it and certainly a spreadsheet co-op comes. I've got nothing against Nintendo, I just want to be playing stuff like PC related. I never really got into Nintendo as a child or youth other than playing on a friend's NES back in the day. And then watching my friend play Zelda in the SNES. And then him going playing Toe Jam and Earl with him and his mate, who was my mate, and I just still have to watch and couldn't play. Oh, which absolutely sucks. Portable, yeah. Well, I bought myself the Steam Deck, and I hardly play that. But the reason I bought that was for the game development, to make sure my games could play on the Steam Deck without issues. So the fact that I wouldn't be playing the Steam Switch 2, unless I was going to put my game on Switch 2, which is way out of my ability, reach, funding line, since I could just effectively wait for Unity to add that and then just compile it and then pay whatever stupid fees I need to get it onto the Nintendo and then the Nintendo shop and whatnot. Ugh. Maybe I'm thinking of how Apple is more of a pain in the ass. But yeah, I can at least get it playable on the Steam Deck. I'd be interested, has anyone actually released a game that is specifically for the Steam Deck that wasn't Valve's own game that released for it, which was like, this is how you do it, because it was fantastic, the use of it, but has anyone actually used those controls? Actually created a game that makes use of the haptic feedbacks and everything else they put out in the tilt features? Because it feels like no one has done that. At least it's not been brought to my attention that people have done that. Let's see. No, that's not what I asked for. I asked for Steam to add specific games. Reddit, come to save the day. So you got, yeah, Aperture Desk Job is what showcased the functionality of every buttons and was a great little experience. And then you just get idiots who don't understand the question. I wonder how long it took for Valve to discover the use cases for all those controls. Maybe these people who've been developed on Switch need to put their Switch games on the Steam Deck, specifically just for the Steam Deck. Because then, as great as what Valve did, there's no comparison for being able to play a Steam Deck game on your PC without those haptic stuff. So maybe they just sealed its own fate. Because the Steam Store, do they have an option where it's Steam Deck only? Where am I looking? No idea. Let's see. Steam Deck only games. No. See, that's the problem, isn't it? They've added all these haptics, and if someone uses it, you've limited your audience to those who've got the Steam Deck. But still, people on Steam using a PC can still buy it, thinking that they can play it on the PC, and it's like, no, you can't. Surely someone's challenging that. Anywho, another tangent. So what games will be on the Steam Deck Switch to? Mario Kart. Another Mario platformer. The next Zelda game. They need to bring back, oh, what was it called? Oh no, that was the Sega. Like Dr. Robotnik's challenge phase. Oh, Metroid, they're going to bring Metroid, yeah. Yeah, the big four. Need another Luigi's Haunted Mansion. And then allow it to play every NES game and every SNES game, every GameCube, every Wii game that's come out before. So they can stop worrying about piracy, because now all their previous games that are no longer for sale can be sold and playable on Switch 2 via emulation. Because we know it's possible, so why don't we just do it? Fix all your problems. I still need to decide how I'm going to do this. As a rule set, like a behavioural rule set. It's like I could have it as an action, but does it make sense to have a rule set as an action? Well, the big voice in my head saying yes. Let's put it this way: if I have a bunch of rule sets we can apply and change and assign at will, or we just have, which will still need an action to say, now use this rule set, or we just have an action and then we have the rule set set in it, and we set it individually per wing. I suppose it makes sense to just do it per wing rather than adding another screen just for that, and then still having to stick an action to sign it to it to be used. And have it what called wing behaviors. Is it a wing behavior? Or a wing rule set? Or a wing rule set? That's a wing leader. I'm just not sure what's the best way to use it and expand on it, as it would probably happen, or whether or not we probably just wouldn't expand on it and just deprecate it and we find a better way. Yeah. Can't think of any other use cases that I would need other than this. Therefore, it would be a wing leader rule set, because then if I wanted to expand on it, then I could have it a wingman rule set for specific behaviors for individual wingmen, rather than trying to assign it all as a wing. That would make more sense. And therefore, that means I need to create another form. Right. Look at all these forms. Is it going to be strict formation or maintain formation? So what do we call it? It's just called strict orders, isn't it? Strict orders enforcement. Strict order following. Is that it? Is that all? Really just one thing to say? You have to stay in formation. Yeah. And then also say, do not tell your wingmen to break an attack. Huh. So you can do like, oh, hostile detected, then wingman orders attack. My target. You know what? Let's just do that. Allow it to break an attack. That's the most basic thing ever. And therefore, if we don't allow, it won't give a break an attack, and the wingmen cannot break an attack. Because they're supposed to be following the orders of their wing leader. No thinking, just doing. Well, I'm going to have to think about that just to make sure that is what I want. It is what I want, just for now. Just putting off the coding. But I'm going to leave it there. It's been about 2 hours of streaming. I don't want to overdo it. So thank you for watching and chatting. And hopefully we'll be back tomorrow, trying to aim for a bit earlier time that I've been doing it this week. So what are we talking about? Like within the next 20 hours from now. That's the goal anyway. Okay, thanks for watching.